What is up, everyone? This is going to be the big trades episode and how I use the ADIS indicator big trades. Okay. So the big trades indicator is a tool within ADIS that can be very useful for spotting when to get into and out of trades. My main use case is going to be for spotting absorption and continuation. So you can see right down here, I actually included these examples. So absorption right down here, you can see a bunch of sellers are stepping in. That shows that there was a buy limit order sat here absorbing all those sellers. And then we go up here and you can see a bunch of buyers stepping in and we ended up getting that continuation, even some buyers around here and still getting that continuation. So that was a really nice use case for that. I like using them together. Okay. So I like spotting absorption and then continuation. That's going to be my favorite use case. And you can apply this into most strategies. I would recommend you backtest/forward test with this first. Okay. So let's say, for example, you have a sample size of like 100 trades. Maybe go and apply the big trades indicator to those trades and see whether or not your win rate would improve if you maybe spotted some absorption first, or maybe you spotted some continuation when you're getting in on that momentum play. So using this in conjunction with key levels is my favorite use case, especially volume support levels. I'll go over those in a second, but here's the settings. So you want to go to indicators, big trades, and then add to chart. I will show this in the ADIS platform in a second anyway, so don't worry about that. But here is the calculation mode. Separated trades, these keep each big trade separate. So you see each splash on your chart at the actual spot and time it happened. And then cumulative trades, these add up a bunch of similar trades happening close together and show them as one big lump on your chart, like stacking blocks to see the total height. I prefer to use eclipses and separated trades for absorption and continuation, but you can use whatever is useful for you. And then setting alerts is also going to be a very cool feature to take advantage of, because let's say you see some big trades happening at a support or resistance level. That could be some useful information for you to take down, okay? And I could actually show you guys really quick that, let's say, for example, these cumulative trades, okay? This will show trades like this. And then that will then ding your chart and show you, okay, there was a big trade happening here. That's for cumulative trades. Even for separated trades, it will show you just one big trade. And then that will ping your chart and you will be able to spot those big trades, okay? I prefer separated trades, but it's pretty much whatever you're comfortable with using. And then obviously backtesting and forward testing, this is going to be the main key component. Okay, so the big trades for absorption is going to be a green bubble equals big buyers and a red bubble equals big sellers. Seeing big buyers step in at the resistance level, but getting no follow through is absorption. And then seeing big sellers step in at a support level, but getting no follow through is also absorption. Okay, and I included these examples over here. So you can see here, big buyers stepping in, but no movement. So look at all these big buyers stepping in right here at this resistance level. They're getting no movement whatsoever. And that's showing us that there's a potential for absorption. And you can actually see over here as well for big sellers stepping in, but no movement. And you can see here, we hit a support level. Bunch of sellers sat here trying to push price down, but there was a big limit buy order absorbing all these sellers coming in. And then we ended up getting that move that follows through movement. And then over here, you walk through these with key levels. My favorite are going to be volume supported levels. Like I said at the beginning, these are going to be like VWAPs, point controls, value area, highs and lows. This could also be like low volume nodes. And these are going to be my favorite use case because it's just volume supported levels and you're actually watching the volume as well. And then over here, big trades for continuation. Seeing big sellers step in at a resistance level and getting no follow through is going to be continuation. Okay, and seeing big buyers step in at a support level and getting no follow through is going to be continuation. Okay, so this is right over here. You see here all these big buyers stepping in. You can easily protect yourself below these big buyers. And then the same for these sellers. You can see here all these sellers stepping in. You can easily protect yourself just above these big sellers. And a good use case for continuation is once we hit a key level and start to see big trades getting rewarded, like in these examples, then you can hop into that trade with big traders and protect yourself just above or below those big trades. Okay, so that is going to be the main use case for this continuation pattern. But I will also go over this in the main chart really quick. So if I just exit out of here, I'm show you guys. So you can see over here that this is a big trades indicator. If I just come up here and I could show you guys my settings really quick. So these are my settings. This is going to be the separated trades. Depending on the asset you're trading, you might need to change this minimum volume. And you can actually see over here, if you just hover over, it will then show you what this means. Okay, so each use case and what it means. But I trade gold, so mine is going to be 15. But let's say you trade ES or NQ, you might need to change this minimum volume, especially if you're trading crypto. You'll definitely need to change this. But these are my settings. Okay, so you can just copy these down, and then if we just press apply, I could show you guys really quick this use case. Okay, so you can see over here that a bunch of sellers were stepping into the market. They were clearly getting absorbed. Why can we see this? Well, look at this. Okay. bunch of sellers are stepping in. They're not being rewarded. Okay. We can assume that there was a big passive buy order sat here absorbing all those sellers stepping in. And then the best use case for this is then seeing that buyers stepping in continuation. Okay. So this is the continuation. This is absorption. This is going to be my favorite play because you see step one, which is the absorption. And then step two, you see a bunch of big buyers stepping in. Okay. And then over here, okay, because I just spotted this is actually really cool use case for this as well. Is that you see, look at all this. You see sellers, big trades, big sellers stepping in, right? And then we hit this level right down here. Okay. So we hit that 4,106 level. Okay. We hit here and you see buyers stepping in. Okay. So this is the big trades, these big sellers no longer clearly want to sell around here. And then now the market has shifted into big buyers wanting to buy. And then you get that use case. Okay. Look over here as well. This is a really cool example. You see a bunch of sellers stepping in. Okay. And look at this price. There was no real big buyers. Okay. There was buyers stepping in here. We got that nice movement up, but then they were not looking to keep on buying around these levels. Okay. So around this 4,130 level, they weren't really looking to buy anymore. And these sellers ended up winning and taking control. Look at this. We end up coming down. Sellers tried to break this level right down here. They failed. And then you got this continuation right after. Okay. This is going to be my favorite use case when it comes to the big trades indicator. Of course, you know, we can use this in tandem with a bunch of other indicators and a bunch of other tools. So let's say, for example, you spot a high volume node. Let me actually go over this really quick because this is actually really cool. Is look at this right over here, right? There was a bunch of big buyers stepping in right around here. We ended up getting that movement up and we came down and approached this level. And what can we see? That those big buyers were actually supporting price, okay? And then we ended up getting move up. Look at this right here. You can see here that there was a bunch of sellers stepping in and they were not getting any follow through. And then we ended up getting this movement up, okay? This is going to be my favorite use case. Again, the settings for this, we might need to tweak around with. So let's say, for example, I set this to 100 and press apply. You will then see that there is very minimal big trades coming up, okay? Because each one of these clips is going to show 100 trades, okay? 100 contracts. So this is showing us one trade at 100 contracts on these eclipses. And then that's why you're not seeing that many big trades popping up on the chart. Of course, these are going to be a little bit stronger. So if I just zoom over here and go like this, okay, you can see over here, big trades, these big buyers, and we got follow through, big buyers, we got follow through. Okay, let me just go over here, try to find a couple more examples. Big buyers, we got some follow through. Big sellers, look at this right here, right? This is showing us a bunch of big sellers stepping in and there was no follow through. What's this? This is absorption, okay? The feature continuation, this is absorption, okay? So changing and tweaking those settings could be very useful for you guys. Of course, if you want to learn more, you can go to the Addis website or you could also go to falserooms.com. That is my personal website. We actually have a 24-hour free trial for most of our members. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you want more information about the big trades or anything like that, just leave a comment below. I'll move that back to you in a moment. So I'll see you guys in the next one.